rock and roll. And an incredible dealer room with one of the largest selections of DVDs, posters, autographs, toys, videos, non-sports cards, and memorabilia if you will ever find on the East Coast. It's all here. So what the heck are you waiting for? I know I'm going to be there. Will you? www.supermegafest.com. Buy your tickets to this year's Boston Super Mega Fest and tell them that Ashley Bottom sent you. We love hearing that.
Welcome back to the Minority Men's Show. Anthony Cook Smash. Just destroying the studio right now. Public, he's just looking at me with this look of
no, I'm just saying I'm surprised that
studio.
I'm just surprised it hasn't been done a long time ago because I almost did it. I think I did it before you did.
Well, our theme of this show we've been talking about leadership, all aspects of leadership, and we're gonna talk about leadership. We were asked, we were invited by the Urban League last week to do something with the Young Professionals Network, and once again, Public did it earlier, but I'd like to say myself, appreciated the invite, and it was awesome talking to those young professionals there that day, and we had a great conversation. We talked about stereotypes of black males and how to break them. And that was our discussion. And we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but we didn't have a lot of time to really go into detail about what we did. I would like for Public to kind of elaborate on that.
So basically, what I think was the deconstructed stereotypes of black men. And, you know, we talked about demonstrating that there are good black men out there, revealing some of the stereotypes and understanding their root, identifying solution to these negative stereotypes of black men. We wanted to tap into many different things. I mean, a couple of one of the things we want to talk about is just like dumbing down, you know, the education of black men. Like, why are the school systems giving books out to middle schoolers talking about what was that again? Bringing the gun
book
by Paul Lagan. I mean, what are you teaching our young men and our boys? I mean, that's just it's crazy. I don't get it. And understanding the difference between doing your time and becoming a vital part of society once you do that. Because in Massachusetts and 13 other states, you have the opportunity to vote once you've served your time. And I think a lot of individuals don't know that. And that's something that we talked about as well. But I just want to tap into one of the key points.
It should have been that a long time ago. If you do your time, why should you lose your rights forever? You know what I mean?
Which is true. And I think because you've already paid your debt to society.
Yeah.
You think that someone that's been through a situation like that, knowing the ins and outs of both sides of the criminal justice system.
Because the reason is because two states also allow you to vote while you're actually incarcerated.
Oh, which two states are those?
Crap. I think it's they're eastern states. I have to look it up.
Okay,
I don't remember,
right.
but it was two eastern states, northeastern states that allowed you to vote while you were still incarcerated.
Wow.
But I'm saying, I think you should be able to vote after you have done your time, because maybe you've had time to reflect and really think about it. Reflecting is like my theme today.
Yeah, it is.
But while you're incarcerated and you may have taken somebody's life, or you may have robbed somebody, or done some stuff that are really against the law, and then you're given the opportunity to vote on a law that other people have to abide by. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I agree with once you've served your time, then you can vote.
In terms of, you just brought something up about reflection and leadership. I think it's important that a leader be able to look long term, and that you have to have the ability to look back on what has been done before you, and then to think 20, 30 years down the line of what could happen. And that's exactly that's what the president is doing. Our current president is doing right now by pushing this universal health care. He's trying to look 30, 40 years down the line of what this country could be.
Because we're not going to have Medicare. We're not going to have Medicaid.
Exactly.
We're not going to be supporting our elderly.
Yeah, things have to be consolidated, and this is the first step of that consolidation. So, you know.
Before we go out, I do want to big up the YPN, their Young Professionals Network of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. And their whole goal is to really empower the 21 to 40-year-olds, encourage leadership development, economic empowerment. They do that through community service, through social consciousness, political involvement. So it's just, I think you should definitely become a member of them because they do phenomenal workshops like the one we were a part of this last weekend. And to be a true leader, you have to educate yourself on a constant basis. So join them.
One of the things that people need to check out this website, felonyvoting.procon.org. It tells you exactly what states you are able to vote. You may lose the right to vote permanently. Alabama, if you commit any crime, felonies, you lose the right to vote.
No
Arizona, but voting restored after a term of incarceration is Washington D.C. Washington D.C. is one state, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana. But we'll take a short commercial break and we'll come back and we'll discuss more about what happened on Saturday with the Minority Men Show, Young
Professionals Network.
Boom. Stay tuned. It's the Minority Men Show. Anthony Cook, give us the number.
We got chairs, 857-366-5444. 857-366-5444. If you feel like donating chairs to the Minority Men Show, hit us up. We'll be back.
I decided to go on this trip to the deepest depths of darkness. Go ahead and slip into oblivion. Fall into this place with me. Strip away your fears, girl, and fall into this place. I call it insanity. Open up your head to the sensation where you're seeing shades sonically. Let the waves crash on you, slip into oblivion. Fall into this place with me. Strip away your fears, girl, and fall into this place. Call it insanity.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Minority Men Show. We're going to continue our conversation about what we discussed at UMass last week while we were talking with the Young Professionals Network. Something that came up was one of the subjects that we talked about is black feminism. Has it helped or hurt the movement? So we talked a lot about scandal when it came to the black feminist situation, and because I know personally there's quite a few black feminists that like the show Scandal.
Really?
Yeah.
That is so odd to me.
Yeah, it's strange, huh? Yeah. So we
that's
talked about, we had a discussion about that on during the conference last week. And Public, what are your thoughts on what we talked about with Scandal and black feminism and all that?
Well, I mean, one of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that a lot of women at the conference kind of was okay with the situation. They were
What situation?
They were okay that she was sleeping with the president of the United States. That was kind of, I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. The man was married, who is married, but they're okay with her being the side piece, as they would say. That threw me off. But one of the things that Anthony Cook did bring up, he was talking from a historical standpoint of pretending not to be intelligent as a strategic tactic. And when you look at individuals, you look at from the black feminist movement per se, and I would say just the feminist movement at the whole topic. And I think Anthony Cook brought up some valid points. And I kind of want to turn it over to him because he brought us some things that, I was in awe about because he made me go do some research. So just tap into that real quick, and then we can even discuss it more.
Well, okay. One of the things that we talked about, we'll get to the black feminist situation also. We'll hit that as well. But one of the things that we brought up was lacking intelligence, pretending to lack in intelligence as a survival tactic during slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And how people had to pretend to be dumbed down so that they wouldn't be abused or, because masters or planters, I guess they were called in the South, they were called planters. What they always worried about was race rights. That was always the biggest thing. They were worried about slaves writing. So what they did to make sure that slaves didn't write was they made reading illegal, reading and writing for slaves to be taught or learn how to do that. They could be killed, and the people that taught them could be killed. So it's important not to.
Who were the people teaching them?
Who were the people that that would teach slaves?
Yeah.
Ended up being, well, I guess a good example would be Frederick Douglass. When he was learning how to read and write, he would learn from the kids. He'd be able to walk the streets, and he was out doing chores, he would take school books and learn how to write from school books, and he'd get lessons from some little white kids that he'd run into.
Oh, okay.
And also at one point he had one of his slave master's wives taught him how to read, and the slave master put it onto her that first off it's illegal, and then it's dangerous to teach him how to read. He overheard the conversation that the husband was having with his wife. He said the reason that it's dangerous for them to read is once they learn how to read, they don't make good slaves anymore because they're aware of their situation.
They become depressed.
Depressed, not so much depressed, but more like angry because of their situation, and they don't become good slaves.
When you realize your the situation more, you'll get hit with a wave of depression.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Because I read two of his books.
I just did some research, and in the Bostonian.com, and this is just talking about going back to the mayoral race. I hate to do this, but this stands out to me.
That's what we do.
Since the Boston Marathon, there's been 164 shootings in Boston.
What?
That's crazy. And that's in April.
That's interesting.
164 shootings.
So a little over 6 months.